66 might be over now, but I feel it still.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio.
Ow!
The Captain Joey Savage.
Corey DLG. Nico DLG. That was my James Brown.
Ooh, it's good.
Ow!
Now do your Fred Durst.
Silence.
You listen to us on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Sister stations.
Worldwide at.
IRLoneStar.com.
It's about that time we tell you about our friends over at Space Cadets Gaming.
That's right, Conroe. I was going to say Woodlands. Like,
Not in the Woodlands.
They're
It's Oak
not.
Ridge.
I know.
And this is Conroe.
I know. I'm sorry, B-Mac.
Start over.
Sorry. So, Conroe, with school wrapping up and summer fast approaching, when the kids need out of the house, they should go to Space Cadets. With comic books, collectible card games, board games, role-playing games, and toys, all in a family-friendly atmosphere, what more could a person ask for? Space Cadets Gaming has magic every Friday evening, and various events going on every day, and especially on the weekends. Dungeons & Dragons, Family Game Night, and various other events are regularly scheduled at Space Cadets Gaming on Robinson Road in Oak Ridge.
They are also the host of the Nerd Thug Clicks Federation events that we are having.
That's right.
This Saturday, we will be there recording some more stuff.
July 15th.
We should have some of that stuff airing on My City TV soon. Ooh. And I would just like to say, in the middle of July, or the beginning of July, I'd hope school's wrapped up by now. If you're still in school, you've got issues.
Or you're taking summer classes.
Yeah, we got a guy right here in the room taking school right now.
Issues.
Right. Oh.
Issues.
Oh. Look, lots of people like summer school.
Do they?
When I was in college, I liked it because I hated doing a class for 18 weeks. Like, I don't have that kind of mental stamina.
I do.
So I can learn it on my own anyway. I don't need you. Like, I'm paying you because I have to. So
this is more of a formality.
Bada boom.
Right. Give me the 5-week rundown, and I'll pass your test. I don't need.
I wouldn't mind if it was a 5-week rundown and I wasn't required to go to class, but most of the time in those classes, you're there for
you are there.
a lot in a day.
I actually, before we, I'll be quick here.
You're always quick.
I was made a deal with my mom one time. I took a semester off because a buddy of mine had lined up some like government FEMA job thing for me and some boys, and we were going to go make crazy money in Louisiana for a semester. Everything fell through, but school had already passed. So mom was like, all right, well, you're going to make that semester up in summer school. I was like, okay, fine. So summer comes, and I'm like, no big deal. Well, the summer school program didn't want to let me enroll in 12 hours. Right. I was trying to do it at once, and they were like, not going to happen, bruh. And I had to go to the individual professors and get a waiver.
Okay.
And two of the professors were like, if you want to, like, that's your choice.
You're paying for it.
And right. And so the third one, though, she tried to tell me no. And I was like, lady, you don't understand. Like,
I'm Corey DLG. I am the smartest man at this school.
Well, no, I specifically said,
I
said, if I'm signing up for it, I'm going to do it. I was like, this is my money. Like, no one pays for this but me. I'm on payment plans to do this stuff. Like,
make it happen.
Right. And she's like, you're going to need, she wanted me to write her a paper to get into the class. And I said, I'll do you one better. I'll write you a paper so that I don't have to take the class. And she was like, what? And I said, if I write you this paper that you want, I'll write you the paper and we can go double on the length and I'll turn it in here in 2 days. And if I get higher than, I don't remember what I said, 85 or something, then I don't have to come to class. I can just email you in the assignments. And she was like,
deal.
She said, okay, fine.
Deal or
so
no
I did.
Deal?
This was, I'll never forget it because she let me write. She said, originally it was like 300 words. I was like, really?
Really? That's a page.
Right.
Page and a half.
Give me 300 words about anything you've just finished reading, and I want to know a critical analysis of it.
I could do that in my sleep.
Right. And she didn't know how much I read at the time. I was like,
or how much we write.
Right. And I was like, I can do it over anything. She was like, yeah. I did it over a comic book I read, and I turned in 4 pages on it. And she was like, I got the email back from her, and she was like, you definitely went all out on this assignment. And I was like, because I don't need you, lady.
He said, I didn't go all out. This is just normal.
Right.
This is normal.
This is me at normal capacity.
Don't test me. So let's say, didn't have to go to class.
Let's test Nico right here.
All right, boom.
Nico DLG segment. Hit it off, boy.
All right. Hey, guys. Nico DLG here. Coming at you live.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah!
So, I've been reading more comic books as of late.
Nice.
Okay,
very good.
right.
I like it. I dig it.
We popped in, I had a friend, Sam, we popped into a comic book store, and I was like, let me read some books off the shelf. We were just hanging out for a few minutes.
Samwise?
Yeah, no.
Samwise Ganji?
Yeah, that's the one. He was taking a break, he was like, Mordor
How
was fun.
tall was he? He could ride a horse.
He could ride a regular-sized horse.
Oh, man.
Okay,
we were reading some comic books, and I was a fan of Generation Next, or X, from the old one from Age of Apocalypse.
Generation Next.
Nailed it.
And then I was looking on the shelf, and I remember you guys telling me about there's a new X-Men book coming out.
Right.
And I was like, oh, there's a Generation X, and I was like, oh, neat. And I was like, I looked at the cover, and I was like, oh, the art's decent. And I was like, oh, there's Quentin Quire. I really like Quentin Quire. He's a fun guy.
Right. Kid Omega.
And then I opened the book, and it's just
Garbage.
trash.
That's
like,
man.
okay, so like the first thing I immediately notice is that everyone's face in the book is just terrifying.
Okay, so first of all, before you go any further,
Right.
one of your biggest pinpoints of not enjoying this book when you opened it was the artwork.
Was the artwork.
Thank you.
Okay.
That is,
Yeah, comic book 101. You got to have art.
if I can't, for instance, Zach loves the Sandman series.
Yes.
And I have no doubt that it is probably a pretty good story.
Yeah, it's written by Neil Gaiman. It's probably one of the better stories in comic books.
And I cannot get past the artwork to enjoy the story. If
Right.
that was just, if someone just made a book about that with no pictures, I would probably read it, no doubt. But because of the artwork, I can't even go page to page.
and that's
Right.
fair. Like, you
That
have
just-
to...
yeah,
it's a
it's
comic
tactless.
book.
It's a comic book, which is a visual medium.
Right.
Just like animation. Like, it doesn't matter how well you've written your show is. If it looks terrible, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
What you gonna do about it?
So the first thing I noticed is that
How about that now?
obviously you're not going to get the same artist to do the covers you're going to do on the inside of the book.
Sometimes they used to. Now, not so much anymore.
Not so much.
They just hire this is the big name. He's going to do the cover. We're going to put his
Right.
name on the front. And it's going to be cool.
Well, and it's good money for the cover artist type guy. He gets to do
Right.
his pinups and his animation side work,
Right.
and he gets to make $1,000 bucks.
Although
a
it can be
cover.
very deceiving. And
Exactly.
you really have to go to the old don't judge a book by its cover. Because
Literally.
you see the cover like, wow, this art's really good. But I urge all of you out there, if you're going to pick up a new comic book, don't go
Flip
off the
through
cover.
it. Flip
Flip
through
through it and see if you dig the
Right.
art
If you-
style
if you
before
dig the
you
art.
before you purchase it. Even the ink.
You're right.
The inker, he's got to be
Very
good too.
important. Very
don't
important.
don't bend the spine though.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
do
don't
that.
do
Don't do that.
Or Cordia G will show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just
That's right.
hammerhead
He
shark you.
gets real bothered.
That's right.
I've seen him. I've seen him around people.
I can hear it from another room, and I
Yeah.
teleport within a
Yeah.
mile.
Right.
Was that my teleporting noise?
And then you just show up in the room. They're like, oh my god.
Oh, it's Corey DLG.
Right. Are you
Stop
bending the
abusing
spine? Yeah. Put
Stop
that
abusing
back.
your comic books.
You have to buy that now.
That'd be great.
So I was reading it, and it was just like I just couldn't get past any of the art. Like I 100%. Like I was always like, oh Joey, it's such a Zach was always telling me it's such a good story. But man, the art's so important.
It is.
It's
it is.
the way that the faces were drawn. Everyone just looked like this is a group of young kids, or not young, but relatively young.
Right. They're young mutants.
They're young mutants, and
Right.
here they like Quentin Quire look like 45. Like I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
and a lot of times, even with
And he
when-
still has the same hairstyle, so it's just like he looks real cringy. Like, oh man.
and a
just,
lot of
like-
times with these comics, because I enjoy the artwork so much, I'll continue to read the story even though it's not very good.
right? Because I think you can forgive someone's like
Because you can almost put the story together through the artwork,
right.
even if the words don't.
Even
work
if,
with it.
even if it's not the best, you can piece together. You know, even if it's like, oh, this is a bad story, but the artwork was really nice, and I like it because I can just flip through and be like, oh, this is nice.
Right. No. And yeah, artwork. But artwork is a huge relevancy. My question here, though, about that, I was kind of curious which characters they used.
It was a bunch of new X-Men. It was a book that I picked it up and I almost put it down immediately. But
Nice.
the only one I really recognized was Quentin Quire. And there was a few other X-Men, but they're all like in the background, like not visible.
Yeah,
at
because
all.
this is like a
What was it called again?
Generation
Generation
X.
X.
They basically, it's an old '90s title that they're bringing
Right.
back.
There's like a bunch of there was an eyeball guy that had like a bunch of eyeballs all over.
Yeah,
him.
he's from Wolverine and Wolverine, the school X-Men stuff.
Okay, and then there was like this like girl with antlers.
She's from Wolverine and the X-Men stuff.
Okay, those are the only.
She has a butler that
Was
they call the
was
Penguin.
Gold Balls in it?
I don't remember if Gold Balls was in it.
I like that guy. He just
Gold
opens
Balls.
his mouth and gold balls come out.
No,
That's hilarious.
It's such a weird. Yeah. Anyway,
It's a mutant power. I
it
don't know.
is. I know he's an X-Man. He's an X-Man.
Yeah, it was just really disappointing.
They basically have kind of abandoned an entire generation of mutants, though.
Right.
Because Quentin Quire was part of that, like, nah, he was separate actually, but there was like a whole new X-Men run. So it was like Hellion, who was telekinetic. They had the rock slide dude. They had a Noli, who was like a lizardy, chameleon-y type person. They had Dust, who was that Muslim girl who could turn into like a sandstorm.
Was Jubilee in it?
Jubilee-
She comes back, right? She trains
She's like
them all?
She's like the headmaster, I think.
Yeah, she shows up in a few panels. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah,
Right.
like she's the head. She's the new headmistress, and they're trying to train like different types. Like because now they're saying there's like 3 different types of mutants. There's like the weirdos who are never going to be able to function in the real world. Eyeball guy because he's covered in eyeballs.
Brain under chain guy.
Right. Then there's like ones that could
Eyeball
be
guy.
like ambassadors to the world. So like Antler Girl, she looks fairly normal, so like she could be like an ambassador for mutant kind.
Right.
And then they have like the ones who will be X-Men, like Quentin Quire.
Right. No, that makes sense. That's fair.
But so they have these 3 different kind of categories, and they're trying to teach these mutants how to.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable.
But they left off like so. They did a whole new X-Men run, and then they changed the direction that they were going in because this was the class of mutants that was the kids, and then they basically changed everything. They did X-Men Schism. Cyclops now had one group. Wolverine had the other, and so Wolverine took most of the new X-Men with him to his Jean Grey School for Higher Learning.
Right.
But they were all like background players. Like these guys all had their own title. They fought Nimrod. They went to hell to save Darkchild, Magic. I mean, like they had some cool storylines.
What, Wolverine and the X-Men?
Yeah, no, new X-Men.
Oh, the new X-Men.
Yeah, so like Elixir, he was this cool healer mutant. And he was
Right,
actually
he
an
can,
Omega level mutant. Like
Yeah,
he
'cause
could like
he can change like the molecule setup of something, right?
right. Well, like no, he actually brought one of them back to life.
Oh my God.
Like a demon like ripped out the kid's heart, and Elixir grew a new heart, but he still wasn't alive. And he was like live, and like it like jolted him alive. So like
That's pretty strong.
right. So they had some really cool characters,
And now they just get sidelined. Here's
they
the new
basically the series just ended at a wall, and then it jumped into the new X-Men, the crossover stuff.
Yeah, and then whenever Marvel brought back the all-new X-Men, which was the displaced one,
Right.
it really just took a turn. Like, even because there was a time where even like Cyclops had his own crew that he was training, and there was
Right.
about 4 or 5 that could be really cool key players. There's one guy they called Hijack. He could basically like control vehicles and stuff.
Vehicles.
It was so
yeah.
cool, and now you don't even really.
Yeah, now that doesn't even. Although one surprise, Gwenpool was actually really nice. It was
You
really
like
good.
Gwenpool?
Yeah, it was actually pretty
deal.
cool.
Yeah, you hate her, don't you?
I originally
Admit the hate.
no, I didn't. Like,
Admit the hate.
I just didn't know her because I thought she was just kind of a throwaway character. Although they're doing something really like kind of fun. Like they put her in situations. She visits the Marvel universe where like everything's crazy, and then she comes back to the real world, and everyone acts like a real person.
Right. That's
So
kind
like,
of neat.
like at one point she like discovers she's in a comic book, and she gets like pushed out of a window because of her word bubble, because of the monologue bubble in her head, and then they take her to the hospital, and they're like, "Why'd you try to commit suicide?"
That's funny. That's funny.
Like it's a really cleverly done book. But
Yeah.
other than that,
There's a bunch of good books
Generation
out there,
X is garbage. Don't read it.
but also make
Ooh.
sure you enjoy the artwork before
Exactly.
you purchased the
Flip through.
comics.
Flip
Right.
through.
With that, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back up. We're gonna wrap things up here at Nerd Thug Radio.
Hashtag talking nerdy to you.
Since 1966.